Produced in high definition by Fox 50. Viewer discretion is advised. They ambushed their human prey. Tonight, they pray you don't turn them in. NC Wanted in high definition starts now.
Good evening, I'm Gerald Owens. Welcome to NC Wanted. Tonight we continue expanding our list of fugitives from a target 10 to a target 20. But before we go any further, we need to update you on cases we're working on.
911 location emergency.
Please, somebody just came in here and called themselves trying to rob us, and they shot my friend. He's on the ground moaning. They had masks and stuff on. Please hurry up. He's bleeding, please.
It happened last Friday, August 17th. Raleigh police say several masked gunmen stormed apartment E at 4105 Spring Forest Road in Raleigh.
Let's go.
At the time, 10 people were inside, 5 children and 5 adults, including 25-year-old Sharmika Harris. She lived just a few doors down and was visiting when the ordeal went down.
It's very frightening. It's very frightening. And as soon as I can, whenever I can afford it, I'll probably move.
Lady, stay still.
At least one gunman shot her in the stomach. She later died at Wake Med. Raleigh police tell us the suspects took off with jewelry and cash, and they have reason to believe the invasion was not random.
Come on, let's go. Get out of here. Go.
If you have any information about this crime, call us toll-free at 1-866-43-WANTED or log on to our website at ncwanted.com. You don't have to reveal your identity. Tonight, the manhunt is on for a fugitive who broke out of a Kentucky prison, then robbed a bank in Raleigh. Just this week, Anthony Tony Ray Artrip was placed on the FBI's most wanted list. Last June, Artrip escaped through an air duct at a Kentucky prison. Authorities say he's been crossing the country robbing as many banks as possible. One of his hits happened in our area July 2nd. Here you can see surveillance footage showing the suspect going to work inside the Wachovia near Raleigh's 5 Points area. According to police, Artrip pulled a gun, demanded the teller let him behind the counter, then emptied the drawers into his bag. He left the 5 Points area on foot and was not seen using a vehicle. Artrip has a scar on his forehead, a scar on his nose, and tattoos on his back, chest, right hand, and both arms. It's possible he could be in Kentucky, Florida, or North Carolina. His multiple aliases include Anthony R. Artrip, Tony Artrip, Ray Artrip, Anthony Artrio, and Anthony R. Artrio. If you have any information about this wanted man, call us right now at 1-866-43-WANTED or log on to ncwanted.com and click on Report a Tip. You don't have to reveal your identity. Now to Lee County. During the early morning hours of Sunday, August 19th, 2 Hispanic males in their late teens to early 20s tried to break into the Kendall Pawn Shop in Sanford. Authorities say the shop had a stockpile of guns and ammunition. Surveillance video shows the suspects using a lead pipe to break out the store's side window, but the bulletproof glass and window bars withstood the relentless pounding. So they tried the front door, but failed there too. They made their last attempt at the shop's back door, then gave up. The would-be thieves soon left the property, and tonight, authorities need your help tracking them down. Watch again. The surveillance video shows the face of the suspect who was not wearing a mask. The other suspect wore a bandana that partially covered his face. If these men had been successful, they could have gotten away with a stockpile of weapons. Theft is a common way criminals get guns, which fuels the illegal gun trade in North Carolina. If you have any information about the attempted break-in at the Kendall Pawn Shop in Sanford, call us right now at 1-866-43-WANTED or log on to ncwanted.com and click on Report a Tip. You can remain anonymous. Now, a man whose rap sheet is so extensive, authorities say they have no doubt he's involved in criminal activity wherever he is. His name is Jarrell Lamar Davis. He's a career thief who held a pawn shop clerk at gunpoint, made him take off his clothes, then he and an accomplice walked away with a large amount of jewelry and cash. May 27, 2006. It's closing time at the Cash Pawn America off Wilkinson Boulevard in Charlotte. The unsuspecting clerk walks outside for a smoke. At that moment, Jarrell Lamar Davis and another masked gunman drive to the back of the store and proceed in a calculated way.
What do you want?
They ambush the clerk and force him back inside. Pistols drawn, Davis and the accomplice move their victim to the back of the store and order him to remove his clothes. Investigators believe it's to keep the man submissive and under control. The accomplice keeps watch as Davis takes just minutes to stuff his orange and black duffel bag with cash and jewelry and make repeated trips back and forth from the car. At one point, Davis thinks he's out of sight of the security cameras and removes the ski mask from his face. But his accomplice never makes that mistake. It isn't long before the accomplice gets a signal from Davis. Then, with a pile of cash and jewelry, the two escape in a white four-door Lincoln Town Car. This is their last known sighting in the Charlotte area. At this point, authorities think they know the identity of Davis's accomplice but are not releasing any additional information. However, they are still looking for Davis. His last known address was Eveningside Drive in Charlotte, but they believe he could be hiding out with his family in Chapel Hill. Davis has also been traced to Atlanta and Florida. He's 6 feet tall, weighs about 200 pounds, and has a number of different aliases, including Jeffrey LaRon Davis, James Lamar Davis, Jarrell Massey, and J.D. Davis. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Jarrell Lamar Davis, call us right now at 1-866-43-WANTED or log on to our website at ncwanted.com. You don't have to give us your name. June 12, 2004 in rural Craven County. Robert Lee Best Jr. is a serial sex offender just out of prison. Since his release, he's enjoying his freedom by breaking the law and failing to register as a sex offender in the area. He's also looking for trouble. Just across the street, he locks eyes on an unsuspecting victim. A woman is arguing with her cousin about needing a ride, and Best spots his opportunity. He lures the woman by offering her that ride.
Can I give you a ride somewhere? Is that
Yeah. Who are you?
it? I live right down the street.
A stranger's more helpful than you.
As Best drives, the woman notices he's going the wrong
Take a
way.
right turn right here.
Good. Should go this way. This would be perfect.
So he yells and bullies her, foreshadowing his true intentions.
Just shut up and let me drive.
Lamar,
Shut up! Let me do what I'm doing here.
Best quickly finds a secluded area to begin his assault. He overpowers the woman and rapes her. Then, when he's finished, he threatens her life to keep her quiet.
You know what? Now I know where you live.
Best then drives the victim to her friend's house. Once inside, she defies his threats against her life and tells her friend what happened. They call the police. A call goes out alerting officers to look for the blue Chevy Cavalier that Best is driving. An officer spots the car, but Best refuses to pull over. Before he's cornered, Best ditches his car and escapes into the woods. He's been on the run ever since. Best is wanted for rape, second-degree kidnapping, and escape from custody. He's a black male, 45 years old, about 5'6", weighing 145 pounds. He has family living in Craven County and has been traced to the Little Washington area. If you have any information on Robert Lee Best, call us right now at 1-866-43-WANTED or go to ncwanted.com and click on Report a Tip. Your identity can be kept confidential.
Coming up, a Vietnamese national living in Raleigh who executes a man in a public parking lot, and a former chair of psychology who lures a woman online, then molests her young daughters. Target 20 fugitives Phu Tan Nguyen and Sanford native Robert Trent Berkey are next.
Welcome back to NC Wanted. Many murders take place inside or behind closed doors, but this next attack occurred in broad daylight and in front of witnesses. It happened over a decade ago, and Raleigh police are still looking for the suspect. His name is Phu Thanh Nguyen, a Vietnamese national who police say shot someone he knew and left him to die. On this mild winter day in Raleigh, 22-year-old Tre Thanh Do decides to visit a nearby Vietnamese restaurant to meet up with an acquaintance. He has no idea this rendezvous is about to go terribly wrong. Around 2:30 in the afternoon on February 10, 1996, Do arrives at the Saigon restaurant off New Hope Church Road in Raleigh. Not long after he is seated, in strolls his acquaintance, 21-year-old Phu Thanh Nguyen, along with some of his friends. For whatever reason, someone says or does something that sends tempers flaring. Do and Nguyen erupt into a heated argument, attracting the attention of people inside the restaurant. Furious, Nguyen and his buddies take things outside. This gives Do a reprieve from the altercation. He finishes up and heads back to his car. This proves to be his final act. Eyewitnesses say as Do walks to his car, Nguyen comes out of nowhere, pulls a gun, and executes him right there in the parking lot. Witnesses watch in horror as the victim collapses before their very eyes. Nguyen and his accomplices leave the scene in a black 1992 four-door Honda. This is the last time anyone reports seeing Phu Thanh Nguyen in the Raleigh area. At the time of the murder, police say Nguyen was living on Sierra Drive in Raleigh. This is where investigators found that black Honda. Nguyen is a common Vietnamese name, spelled Nguyen. Many people pronounce it Nguyen, while some say Noon. Police say this man has family in Raleigh and could still be in our area using an alias. He has a slight build at 5'5" and 120 pounds. Tonight, a reward is being offered to the person with information leading to his arrest. If you know anything about Phu Thanh Nguyen or his whereabouts, call us now, toll-free at 1-866-43-WANTED, or log on to our website at ncwanted.com. You don't have to give us your name. The fugitives who make our Target 20 list come from all walks of life. This next fugitive takes the prize for having the most education. His name is Robert Trent Berkey, and he has strong ties to the Sanford area. In the 1990s, Berkey left the area to study chemistry and psychology. He was a research assistant at Appalachian State University, attended graduate school at Texas A&M, and eventually became the department chair of psychology at Emory and Henry College in Virginia. Tonight, this man of higher education is wanted for low and despicable acts against children. In late 2001, Berkey is divorced and his ex-wife is dying of cancer. He meets a new woman online, and it isn't long before they meet in person and move in together. At this time, Berkey has a 6-year-old son, while his new internet girlfriend has 2 daughters. Within months, the older daughter tells her mother that Berkey has been touching her in inappropriate ways. Before long, the younger daughter tells of more incidents of touching. This prompts the mother to call authorities and move out, taking her daughters with her. On June 2, 2002, Berkey is arrested on 2 counts of aggravated sexual assault of a child. They search his computer and find evidence that leads to 5 counts of possession of child pornography. Berkey posts bond right away and somehow convinces his girlfriend to reconsider their relationship. Meanwhile, Berkey's ex-wife dies of cancer, and he's able to collect on her life insurance policy. Berkey now sees a way out. He stockpiles more cash by withdrawing his life savings. Then, just before his trial is to begin, Berkey leaves a note to his girlfriend, his parents, and his employer, saying he couldn't face the charges, so he was leaving and no one would ever find him. Authorities tell us that's the last anyone has heard from Berkey, but he was very close to his son and may have figured out ways to contact him. His son lives with Berkey's father in the Sanford area. His family also owns a vacation home in the ski and golf community of Seven Devils near Boone. Berkey has a distinctive dimple in his chin. Some have said he may walk with a slight limp, and he takes medicine for depression and high blood pressure. Tonight, there's a reward for information leading to his arrest and conviction. If you have information or know the whereabouts of Robert Trent Berkey, call us right now at 1-866-43-WANTED, or log on to our website at ncwanted.com. You don't have to reveal your identity.
Coming up, the avid hunter from Moore County who spent months raping young girls in his family. Then the dirty uncle who came to America and raped his niece. Target 20 fugitives James Marvin Johnson and Mexican national Celestino Gutierrez Molina are next.
Welcome back to NC Wanted. Tonight we're profiling fugitives on our Target 20 list. Hunting is a sport as old as man himself. But when the prey turns from wild game to children, hunting takes on a tragic new meaning. Enter James Marvin Johnson of Moore County. He's an avid hunter who police say preys on young girls. He's wanted for 10 counts of first-degree rape, 5 counts of indecent liberties with a child, and 1 count of statutory rape. To make matters worse, some of his heinous acts involve members of his own family. It's the summer of 1998. James Marvin Johnson relishes his country lifestyle in Moore County. He burns the hours off-roading in his ATV. He also works on sharpening his aim for hunting season. During the summer of '98 and the months that follow, Johnson gains repeated access to 2 adolescent girls who happen to be part of his family. It's a temptation he won't ignore. For months, Johnson takes liberties with the girls at different times and in different ways. Investigators say he repeatedly rapes and eventually impregnates the older girl, a mere 12 years old. DNA taken from the girl's fetus later confirms a perfect match to Johnson. But before his deeds are exposed, Johnson somehow manages to start a quasi-civic organization in the Sanford area called Clean Teens. This gives him cover to gain access to more young girls, whom he takes camping and photographs while in their tents. Johnson captures photos of himself with his arms around the young girls and later shares those photos with buddies, describing the children as his latest girlfriend. Sexual predators have a mental sickness that makes them hard to catch and even harder to stop. They take indecent liberties in opportunistic ways, especially if they think they can get away with it. So far, James Marvin Johnson has gotten away with it. Police arrested him on January 22nd of 1999, but family members helped him post bond. On February 12th of the same year, police got him again. But again, his family posted bond. Then Johnson took off. Tonight, you can make sure James Marvin Johnson's hunting days are over. He's 5 feet 11 inches tall and heavy, weighing nearly 270 pounds. He has a tattoo of a feather with a drop of blood on his lower left leg. The letters LTTE are tattooed on his upper left arm. The phrase Widowmaker is tattooed on his right shoulder. On his back, a tattoo of an Indian displaying the words Indian Outlaw. Ironically, at the time of these crimes, his address in Cameron, North Carolina was listed as Outlaw Lane. It's time to bring this true-life outlaw to justice. If you know the whereabouts of James Marvin Johnson, call us toll-free at 1-866-43-WANTED or log on to our website at ncwanted.com. As always, you don't have to reveal your identity. Tonight, police need your tips to capture a man who takes advantage of children in his own family. It's bedtime for a 10-year-old girl living with her aunt in Chapel Hill. After a kiss goodnight, the girl we'll call Katrina climbs under the covers and turns out the light. It seems so innocent, but this innocent little girl is about to experience an act of unspeakable betrayal. Chapel Hill police say in the early hours of October 1st, 2006, a man enters the girl's room and places his hand over her mouth. Terrified, the girl awakens to see someone she knows. It's her uncle, Celestino Gutierrez Molina, a Mexican national visiting the family in North Carolina. Gutierrez Molina proceeds to sexually violate his niece for an agonizing amount of time. The girl tells police the sexual assault goes on so long she could see the sunrise. After he finishes with her, Gutierrez Molina flees the house through a window, taking his belongings with him. Once she believes her uncle is gone, the traumatized girl wakes her aunt to tell her what happened. Meanwhile, Gutierrez Molina runs to a friend's apartment in nearby Carborough, where he bums a ride to RDU International with full intentions of fleeing the U.S. By this time, the girl's aunt is rushing the girl to the emergency room, where doctors will soon discover physical evidence of the assault. It's possible Molina may have found a way to flee to Mexico, but his wife in Mexico knows what he did, and authorities don't believe he made it out. What we do know is he has relatives living in the Chapel Hill, Carborough area, and authorities have linked him to areas in and around Tarboro. If you have any information on the whereabouts of Celestino Gutierrez Molina, call us right now at 1-866-43-WANTED or log on to our website at ncwanted.com and click on Report a Tip. Your identity will be kept confidential. When we come back, we'll recap tonight's cases and tell you what else we're working on. Stay with us. Welcome back to NC Wanted. Time now to recap tonight's cases. First, he's a thief who held a man at gunpoint. Then he and an accomplice took off with a large amount of jewelry and cash. Jarrell Lamar Davis is wanted by the Charlotte-Mecklenburg police for robbery with a dangerous weapon and second-degree kidnapping. He's 6 feet tall, weighs about 200 pounds, and could be going by a number of different aliases, including Jeffrey Laron Davis, James Lamar Davis, Jarrell Massey, and J.D. Davis. Next, authorities say this Vietnamese national executed someone he knew in broad daylight. It happened off New Hope Church Road in Raleigh. His name is Phu Tan Nguyen, and police say he has family in Raleigh and may be in our area using an alias. He has a slight build at 5'5" and 120 pounds. There's a reward for the person with information leading to his arrest. This man takes the prize for the fugitive with the most education. Authorities tell us Robert Trent Berkey was close to his son and may have figured out ways to contact him. His son lives with Berkey's father in the Sanford area. Berkey's family also owns a resort house in the ski and golf community of Seven Devils near Boone. Berkey has a distinctive dimple in his chin. Some have said he may walk with a slight limp. He takes medicine for depression and high blood pressure. There is a reward leading to his arrest. Next, he's an avid hunter who raped and impregnated a 12-year-old girl in his own family. James Marvin Johnson was living on Outlaw Lane in Cameron, North Carolina, where police say he spent months molesting young girls. He's 5'11" and heavy, weighing nearly 270 pounds. He has a tattoo of a feather with a drop of blood on his leg. The letters LTTE are tattooed on his upper left arm. The phrase Widowmaker is tattooed on his right shoulder. On his back, a tattoo of an Indian displaying the words Indian Outlaw. And finally, Celestino Gutierrez Molina, a man who ignores the boundaries of age and family. He's a Mexican national who police say molested his 10-year-old niece in Chapel Hill, then tried to flee the country. But authorities have reason to believe he never made it out. Now everyone is on to him. Gutierrez Molina may be in and around Tarboro and may be hiding out with extended relatives or friends in that area. If you have information on any of tonight's cases, call us right now toll-free at 1-866-43-WANTED or log on to our website at ncwanted.com. Your identity will be kept confidential. Next week, we profile cases of helpless victims who were only minutes old before their lives were taken away, discarded in dumpsters, left in the woods, deserted on the side of the road. We'll look at the legendary unsolved murder of baby Michael in Cumberland County. In 1999, authorities found his body along a lonely country road. He'd been murdered, then tossed out of a moving car. Authorities were so taken by this tragedy, they named him Michael, after the patron saint of law enforcement. To this day, investigators have hope that someone will come forward about this case. We'll also shed light on North Carolina's safe surrender law. It gives mothers up to 7 days to hand over their babies to a responsible adult without legal repercussions. Remember, together we can fight to protect the quality of life we hold dear in North Carolina. I'm Gerald Owens. Thanks for watching.